Well, it is still a public information that the war between Israel and Iran, also in collaboration with the United States of America, continues to rage. Yes. The United States of American Central Command has released a statement owing to the last reportage that Iranian Revolutionary Guard had fired 4 ballistic missiles to United States of American USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier, which is currently stationed at the Persian Gulf. And in their according to their statement, they maintain categorically that the 4 ballistic missiles could not even get close to the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier before they were intercepted and destroyed. Do not forget that this aircraft carrier came in with 3 powerful destroyers. So that record has been established that Iran didn't succeed in causing any damage to the aircraft carrier. However, it will also not be fair not to acknowledge that Iran has currently been inflicted pains to the people of Israel as well as to the air bases of the United States of America. Records of Iran ballistic missile attack in Israel that destroyed a synagogue, took away the precious life of 9 persons, including children, and also attacked their underground shelter. That record is already out there. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had equally organized a press conference, sending condolences to the families affected, letting them know that more hard times will come. However, that they are going to continue to strike harder on the targets of the terrorist groups and the terrorist group and the terrorist regime of the late Supreme Leader of Iran, Ali Khamenei. And also the United States of American Central Command has released a statement about the United States of American F-15 or F-16E Strike Eagle fighter jet that was shot down in Kuwait. When that news broke out, many claimed that it was the Iranian Revolutionary Guard that shot down that very fighter jet. But according to the relevant information or verified information from the United States of American Central Command, it was maintained that that very fighter jet was in operation in accordance with the current U.S. military Operation Epic Fury exercise, and the fighter jet, due to some fire incident up there in the sky, flew low over Kuwait, and the Kuwait defense system shot down that very aircraft mistakenly. They shot it down, and then, but fortunately and to the glory of God, all the 6 crew members in that very fighter jet were all recovered and they are in stable conditions. United States of American government is currently, or intelligence is currently investigating that very incidents to understand more clearly what actually happened. So meaning that it was not the Iranian Revolutionary Guard that shot down that very fighter jet, for the records. And that equally takes my mind to one of the serious losses the United States of America has also incurred in Bahrain. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard has succeeded in destroying a $350 million worth of US radar at the Bahrain military base. So some experts are saying that Iranian Revolutionary Guard is concentrating more on weakening the United States of American military bases within the Middle East before launching concerted attack on their warships, on their naval warships. While some are saying that in the nearest future, if not in days, that Iran will run out of missiles, they will run out of missile capabilities and finally succumb to pressure of surrendering and charting a new course. While some are saying otherwise, that Iran has, way more dangerous stockpile of missiles. You know what I mean? So it's getting more interesting. However, one fact that must not be forgotten is that United States of America, over the years and up to this moment, has air superiority. Yeah, they have superiority, and at the moment they are controlling most of the air over Iran and within the Middle East at this material time, of which undoubtedly many of their military bases that have radar systems also works in consonance in monitoring missile activities over the air within that very region. So probably that could be the reason the Iranian Revolutionary Guard is currently targeting their military bases to see how much they can destroy of their radar system, of their air defense system. You know what I mean? So, but also for emphasis, as a reminder to many people who are supporting the proliferation of nuclear weapons, this video is just going to be an eye-opener to many of you. If for any reason a thermonuclear weapon is dropped, or any country opens up a thermonuclear weapon, this video will explain to you what will be the fate of mankind. That will likely be the end of humanity or the end of civilization, because you will get to understand what we call nuclear winter and other devastating effects that could come from that. I'm gonna watch the video first and I'll come back to explain a few things.
If a thermonuclear missile landed on us right now in Midtown Manhattan, what would happen?
A 1 megaton thermonuclear bomb hits with such a force. First, it's a blinding light. It's 180 million degrees worth of light. It's a pulse. Everything within miles is in a line of sight is set on fire. So you have 1 mile radius of fire. That's 19 football fields of fire. Think about how long that is. Imagine everything in the line of sight catching on fire. So you immediately have this mega fire. And people have seen the nuclear mushroom cloud in Hollywood movies, right? So the stem of the mushroom, that stem is a several 100-mile-an-hour vacuum, okay? I mean, a hurricane is 90 miles an hour.
Right.
Sucks everything up that has been turned into combusting carbon, basically. People, things, buildings. In a 9-mile radius, everything goes, and you have 30 feet of rubble. The nuclear mushroom cap, this 10, 20, 30-mile wide cap, is what's left of people. That's like debris of humans up there. If anyone launches on the United States, they are going to get the mother lode in response. 1,760 nuclear weapons that we have on ready for launch status.
We would unload the whole clip.
The whole arsenal. Everybody has a launch on morning capacity, or at least we in Russia do. And so if you launch, we launch. And then we're all dead. Soot blotting out the sun's rays for 8, 9, 10 years. The result is that agriculture fails. You know, you have this incredible freezing world for a decade. And then agriculture fails and people starve to death. 72 minutes from nuclear launch to nuclear winter. And I describe it in great detail, like from Defense Department documents, by the way, like scientific facts about what happens, which should terrify everyone that we actually know such horrors, but we do. We do.
I'm pretty sure you have seen that very video, and just for a little more clarity, thermonuclear weapons or thermonuclear bombs is specifically talking about hydrogen bomb. And hydrogen bombs are far more worse, more disastrous and more devastating than the first generation nuclear bombs or nuclear atomic bombs that many of you talks about. You know, the reason is because these thermonuclear bombs or thermonuclear weapons are second generation, you know, nuclear weapons, which usually passes through stage process. It goes through a fission process, you know, releasing a massive amount of energy, which leads to the second stage of it, which is the fusion that is triggered consequently from the first stage, which is the fission. And in this second stage, which is the fusion, you begin to see some smaller elements, but specifically the isotopes, some of the isotopes of hydrogen, which is deuterium and tritium, you know, coming together in a fusion process to release a way more massive amount of energy. And the yield in this case is usually ranges into kilotons and megatons. Just like the young lady explained in that very video, you must understand that the devastating effect that comes from this must not be overlooked by the world at large. Yes, this thermonuclear weapon we're talking about, I think, was created in 1950s by United States of America and USSR, the former USSR, the Soviet Union. And I can see also why the US is very protective of not allowing many other countries to go this route of producing more nuclear weapons. You know what I mean? Not even atomic bombs, let alone the thermonuclear bombs like hydrogen bombs. You know what I mean? So the winter, the nuclear winter, like the lady talked about, is all about the devastating effect as a result of burning debris from fires, from cities, and all of that. Black soot, the soot continues to get into the atmosphere, which forms a cloud and prevents direct sunlight from coming into the coming into this planet Earth, into this atmosphere, within our planet. And when that happens, there will be freezing cold. Yes, there will be a devastating temperature drop across board. We are not even talking about the global famine that will come, how agriculture will be affected. And like I said, it's going to be the end of humanity, end of civilization, because the devastating effect will last for decades. You know what I mean? So it's a very dangerous weapon, which usually starts with the usual fission process of maybe fissioning plutonium or uranium, and then finally getting into the second stage of it, where you begin to see the fusion process, where lighter elements, basically the isotopes of hydrogen, the deuterium and the tritium, continues to undergo a fusion process, which is a consequences of the fission process as well. So we must put our heads together to begin to understand in clarity that one of the consequences of allowing everybody to own a nuclear weapon, just like we are fighting today, for example, in Nigeria, the jihadist terrorist group. One time, the moment any of these dangerous nuclear warheads get into the hands of the radical Islamist terrorist group, that will be the end of humanity, because these guys does not have mercy. These guys does not have conscience. These guys does not think twice before unleashing mayhem. Just the same way you see what is going on in Nigeria. If a bandit comes across any of these weapons, he doesn't want to think about the devastating effect. He himself will not even realize that he is going to be unalive at the end of the day. Although death is no longer a threat to them, because they believe that at the end of their lifetime, they will be welcomed into paradise with 72 virgins. So the mentality is very crazy, and I feel that is the reason the United States of America is fighting so hard to ensure that Iran does not go into the route of producing nuclear weapons, because at the whether you like it or not, the moment you reach uranium up to 60% to 70%, you have the capacity to produce nuclear weapons, and not just atomic bombs, because once you have uranium, which will start the fission process, you also have the capabilities of getting into a thermonuclear weapons, like hydrogen bomb, which is way more disastrous than you can ever imagine in comparison with the first generation nuclear bombs or atomic bomb that you are very familiar with. So we sincerely hope that this war comes to a halt. Surprisingly, everybody was thinking that when the supreme leader of Iran is taken down, that they were going to surrender. But, some experts are saying that the military capacity of Iran is in cells, that even without a supreme leader, even without a commander, they continue, because they are decentralized, they continue to work in fractions. So, but let's see how far their military capacity, their missile capacity will take them furthermore before we finally begin to see a new way of peace. So in the end, I, for one, praise for peace and hope that that peace returns as fast as possible. And at this point, I'll allow you guys to be the judge. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section, and share this video. Man, another person, Siam. God bless you.